Hello guys. So this is not technically a episode per se, but to say the least, it's just going to be me venting about a certain problem that I have with the series that I'm planning to make. I'm still stuck on a name for this series exactly. Specifically either Elden Lord of the Sea, or what I'm gonna call Azure Lane's Freedom, or another one which I was also planning to make or planning to name as Azure Lane's Elden Lord, which pretty long name I know, but I'm still working on it. So yeah, I'm still picking a name for this series, and also at the same time I'm still trying to make the design for Izuku. I'm also planning on the changing a bit of the story, specifically about spoilers here. I believe her name was which I think her name was Amagi. Yeah, the sister of both the flagships of the, or not really flagships, but more or less the, I guess you'd say the mascots for both, for, or at least the two mascots for the faction known as Sakura Empire. I think their names was Akagi and Kaga, which I will be adding Amagi in the story because that she's going to be essentially the catalyst on why Izuku is probably going to be joining Sakura Empire, but more specifically Sakura Empire is going to be, spoilers, probably going to be going to go ally with Azure Lane again really early in the story. Yes, maybe. It's still depending on me, so yeah. But at the same time, I also want to add in a little bit of conflict. So maybe the Elden Lords might come back, depending, and also after learning about Shadow the Erdtree, and turns out Moog is not the Moog Lester. Instead, it's Mika Lester. Oh God, I'm so surprised at that as well. So yeah, maybe I will. I'm still looking for a name for the ship that Izuku's is, like the actual ship, not in relationship, like that. The current ship idea that I'm going for is a mythological ship, which, thank you for the guy that decided to go for Flying Dutchman, but at the same time, the ship that Izuku's gonna have is essentially like, imagine something like, it's, Izuku's ship is essentially like Thriller Bark, which is that of a gigantic ass island that is basically like this, essentially. I'm not joking. It's essentially just like this, except instead of a large ring, the actual ship, or I guess you could say the actual, like, ship that Izuku is based off of, is essentially just this gigantic ass island with just a massive ass, like, propeller that basically moves it around. Or maybe it's essentially like, the walking cathedrals in Elden Ring, where it basically has, instead of, like, gigantic ass like legs, instead it has like flippers, like rock like flippers that allows it to float around and basically go swimming around. Essentially like that. It's essentially a gigantic ass moving island. And the funniest part is, because I decided on what type of magics sorceries which Izuku will have, I decided to give him both Dragon Communion and Dragon Cult. And you can probably guess what happens next. It's essentially, he's essentially like, what is that called? A, aircraft carrier. Yeah, an aircraft carrier style ship. In this case, instead of throwing out planes, he shoots out dragons. Yep, he shoots out dragons, essentially. Oh, Jesus Christ, that is terrifying to think about. So yeah, essentially, instead of planes, he shoots out fucking dragons. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy in that what if, to say the least. So yeah, I'm probably gonna end this episode right off here. And also, what do you think of the current idea? So yeah, just tell me in the comments about the current idea for this series, and I'm probably gonna be making this the first episode of this series soon. So yeah, bye bye.